Hi everyone, Emma here. I'm so excited to show you. I have started making these Christmas balls that Stephanie from Bronzepony has so graciously designed for us. I'm so excited to show you. So of course, as I got started on them, or even before I got started, I thought, okay, how quick will it be before I start altering the design? So guess what? Anyway, these are the first two that I made, and we are going to go ahead and make the next one with the green color. So I had ordered Christmas balls from Amazon, and they came in a batch of, let me show you the different colors. So there was this green here, this rose and gold color, and then this one here, a shiny one. And this is probably my favorite here. This one here, look at that. Isn't that amazing? So these are the 2 3/4 size. And the one that Stephanie did was the 3 1/4, I think. And she did say that it works for both. And as you can see, it does. Now, I decided to group, oh, sorry about that. Group mine. Let me bring this up here. Group these ends instead of having them dangle. I had them grouped at the bottom. Now for this design with the green, we are going to change this up. I just had, this was one kind of thing that that I wanted to change from her design. So she starts with crystals. Now I've added some pearls to cover these ugly plastic. The light seems really dark. Let me see if I can adjust this here. And let's bring it up. See if I can get it to stay. Oh, this. I started using a gray. There, a gray matte, and I don't know if that's what's causing the color difference or the light difference. Okay, so she puts crystals. I don't know if you can see it that well. Bicone crystals around the top. And then, of course, I'm adding this to cover up. This is plastic, and it's not that attractive, so I kind of wanted to cover it. And it basically covers the crystals. So I wanted to definitely change what I put at the top. So I did do it on this one. So I added 4mm pearls instead. Now, I haven't added my embellishment yet. Those pearls will get covered, most likely. I might try and use a smaller, maybe a 2mm seed bead around here that's attractive. And then, of course, at the bottom, because when they're hanging on the tree, this is what you're going to see. You're not going to see much of these crystals on the bottom. I just feel like they're a little too expensive to just put somewhere that you're not going to see. So that's just me. You can do them however you want. So this here is almost identical to what she did, except, of course, tying them up at the bottom. And this area here. I thought by using 10-pound fire line that it might make this a little more sturdy and for longevity's sake, because I'm giving these to my nieces as Christmas gifts, and hopefully it will become a family heirloom. So I used 10-pound fire line. Bad idea. First of all, it was difficult to get through multiple times, and everything was really rigid. Now, if that's the effect you want, that's great. But these guys here, you don't see it as much here because in this one I used a 6-pound dragon thread. They kind of dangle. So you can see they kind of flop to the bottom. But on the other, they were sticking out. That's how tight it was. So this one here, the difference, I added, like I said, those pearls. This one, I tried to reduce the amount of seed beads here, and here, thinking that I didn't like the way these sat. They look really weird, but I think it was just the beads I had. They were Toho beads, so they don't kind of sit well together under tension in this design. But definitely this is the design I want for the bottom. This one here looks very wobbly, and this was a lot of crystals on the bottom. So let's move to, now the reason I show you these is, so these were beautiful. These two balls were supposed to be blue, and when I got them, they're green. Didn't realize until I started doing the review, and I was like, oh, this sucks. Like, I wanted blue. But then once I started working with them, I felt a little better. Although this one being such a plain Jane, I was like, this is irritating. But as it turns out, you know what? There's nothing to interfere with the colors of the beads that we put on. So I thought, you know what? Let's try that. So let's do that. And you know the fun part? Look at all the... I like sparkles. So the first thing I did was cut this off. I am going to add a nice attachment, possibly what Stephanie did with the hooks. And in her video, I will post the link to her video in the description if you missed that one. It was about 4 weeks ago. I'm surprised it's that long ago. So let's take a look at what I have here. So you're going to need super duos. That I did find that I went through. I was surprised how much super duos I went through. Now in Stephanie's video, she actually gives you the exact amounts. She's amazing. I can't thank her enough for doing this. I'm using gray just because I don't have any green left, or I have a tiny bit of green, but I'm pretty sure the gray will be concealed in this, so I'm not too worried. I have a 6mm Druck. Now she uses pearls, and in my other balls I've used pearls, and I have done some gold too, but that's going to be another video. And then I've got some 4mm Drucks as well that kind of match, so that we can do this one here, this area here. We might leave this out so I can use it as an example. Then I've got some 11O. These are galvanized seafoam. I think these are from Spoiled Rotten Beads in the UK, so this was from Kath from the UK. There was 2 sets of those, so I'm so excited. Okay, so these are drops. They're, I believe, 5x9, and I got these from AliExpress a couple of years ago. And then I have the twin duo, they call these. Let me enlarge this a bit here. And I will show you where I use those twin duos. So I use them right here. You can barely see this crystal, but this is the drop crystal, and there's the, so it holds it nice and tight together, and then you can adjust that. Then I've got my Swarovski crystals, and that should be enough because we're not going to use them for the top and bottom. And then I have some 15O Japanese seed beads, and these came from Jill Wiseman. I think that's it. So the first thing I've done, and she talks about using different lengths of thread. And let me just move this here. I did 2 arm spans, and what I do is I put my stop bead, I was going to say drop bead, stop bead in between the 2. So at one wingspan, I put the stop bead, and then I roll between my fingers. Just do this between your fingers, pull it off, twist it a bit, and wrap it, and it will stay like that for the most part. It sometimes unravels, but by then you're usually ready to use the other side of it. So what this does is, we get started, we're going to do this piece here, and then we're going to attach this here, then we're going to be out of thread. We might have enough to do 1 or 2 of these little guys, and then you can go ahead and use your other stuff, and it should take you almost to the end, which is great, because I did find trying to add thread in stuff was a bit chaotic, because then you had to go through a lot of different things to get back into the position you needed to be. So we're going to start with these guys here. So we need our, I'll put some of these guys out. I hope that wasn't like too boring, all the instructions on what you need, but it is what it is, right? I try to just, let's just get right into the beading, but unfortunately there's a lot of explaining why I'm using certain things. So we need 8 of these. And let me put a bead stopper on this so they don't go flying everywhere, which is usually the case. And then we need our, I just want to make sure these colors are the same. Okay, they look different under the light. Might as well pour them all out. And some seed beads. And I think that's it for right now. So we're going to start. I'm going to move my scissors out of the way. I'm going to start by picking up a super duo. However you start, it's up to you. You can start with a super duo or with your seed beads. So we'll start with a super duo. To pick up 3 seed beads. Oh, that's just not right. What just happened? You know what? Sometimes the camera gets really funky. Let's see if we can lighten that. Okay, that's better. Then a super duo. I should say, or remind you, check your holes. This is a particular design that if you don't check your holes, by the time you come around to that same super duo to put in the next attachment or embellishment or whatever, you and that hole is blocked, you have to take the whole thing apart. So there's no ifs. And I was working on some gold last night. So 3, 4. So we're going to add, so this first piece, we're going to add 4 super duos, 3 11-0s in between each, and then another 3 at the end here. Yeah, this design is, oh, I was working with the gold super duos and I was shocked at how many holes were clogged. So definitely check your holes. I'm usually pretty lazy at checking my holes. It only took one time for me to decide I better check them. Okay, so now we're going to go up through from the bottom side and go all the way through it again. You can do that in multiple steps, or you can, if you are a pro like me. Oh, it's a miracle. It only took me 3 years to get to this point. And you know what? I was going to do this video where I'd show you a couple of times of doing this and then just move to the next step. It's so much work. And it's not so much work as it is keeping it organized. So this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to go up and over to the next one. So we're going to go up through the super duo, through the seed beads, and through the next super duo. It's you know, like long threads everywhere and pieces here and there, and so I decided. Okay, so now we're going to pick up our 6 millimeter pearl or druck. So I'm coming out of this side of the Super Duo. I'm going to go to the opposite side of the opposite Super Duo and just through that one like that. I tend to kind of see if I can get my pearl in there or my bead so that it kind of keeps this tension here, and not a big, it will pull it tight there like that. Okay, now we're coming out of this side. We're gonna go back through the pearl or the druck. There. And so now our initial thread came on this side, came out that side. We're going to go to the other side of the Super Duo. In that hole, we're going to go through the 3 11/0s. That. And there. So these Tohos are big. You can see there's a lot of gap. So I hadn't tried those. You know what? I have some more. We might change those up because these here were Tohos and I didn't like the way they were sitting. So let me just grab the other size. These are check seed beads. So they're nice and round. They'll fit better. I mean, it still looks good if that's all you have is Tohos. By all means, use those. So let's see if we can take this off without too much trouble. And go through. And through here. And take this one off. Okay. And go through these guys. This is the part. Okay, so we've gone through twice. I was going to say this is the part that I find annoying. Sometimes these needles are so sharp. I don't quite understand why you need a sharp needle for beading, because it goes through the threads, even the fusible threads. So it's kind of like, what is the point? I feel like this is a deja vu for me. I think I'm sure if you look back at my videos, there's a video in there me saying, why do they have sharp needles for beading? Broken record. You can imagine last night I was doing some gold stuff and I was doing it while I was watching TV. First mistake. And of course, I had to take stuff off because I put 4 beads instead of 3. And then I'd get it all around and realize when I go to do the next step, I'm like, oh, there's 4 on here. And of course, my thread had gone through. Let me see if I can get this off. Too much problems? Okay. Thank you for your patience, and by all means, fast forward. I should have a disclaimer at the beginning. Let's get rid of these. But you know what? It happens, right? I was scrambling to get some stuff together, and you know, honestly, I didn't think I had enough green beads to create this. So I think that's probably, I didn't pay attention that they were, oh wow, these colors are amazing too. Okay, try again. So I'm going to pick up. Okay, super duo. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and we have 4. So all the next ones of these are going to only need 3 super duos, and that's because we're going to use a combined one. So there's your 3 and 3 all the way across. Bring that down. You'll see when we put our druck in what a difference it will make in the shape. I did find as I was trying to prepare for this, doing these balls with this design, I felt it used a lot of supplies and like different stuff that you needed to do it. But then when I started putting together different colors, it was like, okay, well, I only have a certain amount of colors. So we've gone around once, and we're going to go around past the first super duo and the second super duo and through all those 11 O's. But yeah, once I started putting together stuff, I remember that colors don't have to match exactly. Like this is more of a turquoise and this is more of a lime green. So you'd think it doesn't go together, but once you put everything together, it just works really well. So we're coming out of the super duo. We're going to add our 6mm druck. That. And just, so we're coming out of this side. So we want to go to the opposite side of the super duo, which is directly across. Like that. So isn't that amazing? That is a huge, huge difference. There was so much gap in between the other. So now we're coming out of this side of the super duo. We're going to go through the druck. And make sure it goes to there. So if you look at this side here, see which side the thread's right there. So you know that you need to go through this one on this side. Like that. Feel like I'm fishing for beads here. Okay, so we want to be on this. So if you start here, you want to continue on this way. So let's go through the 3 11 O's, and you can go through the super duo as well. If you can't get your needle through, just take 2 steps to do it. And now we're going to step up to this hole here. And that's what I mean about the holes. Check your holes. So bring that through like that. Now at this point, we already have 1 super duo. So you want 3 seed beads on this side and 3 on this side. So let's start going around the circle. So pick up 3, then a super duo, 3 11 O's, and a super duo. I'm going to put some of these over here. 3 11 O's and a super duo. So we have 3 super duos there. And this is the 4th one. So we need 3 seed beads to finish the loop. So let me show you what that looks like. So that's what you need. And this is what we're going to put on from now on. 3 11 O's, super duo, 3 11 O's, super duo, 3 11 O's, and 3 11 O's. You're coming out of this side here, we're going to go up through the top, bring it through, and now we're going to go around the whole thing one more time. I did try to do it, like do a quick version and not go through the whole thing again, and I'll tell you, it didn't work. I ended up having to go through, once I had it on the Christmas ball, and go through all of them again. So I would highly recommend doing it twice here around your work. Let me tilt this up. It's for a bunch of reasons I try to find a way to do it the quickest way possible. And part of the reason is not having to use as much thread. And I know some people, like, this stuff's expensive, so that's one whole time. So now we want to get back to this one here. Let's just bring that through. And just keep pulling your tension so it's nice and tight. So we're going to go to this one here. And now we're going to add our druck again. And this really starts to come together so nice. So your threads on that side, you want to go on this side of the opposite super duo, like that. And pop that in. Take your thread and go through the druck. Hold everything in place. It doesn't really matter if your thread is forward or backwards, but I try to keep it organized. Okay, so now you're going to take it from this side here, because you can kind of see the thread there. And we'll go through the 3 beads and up through, oops, just the super duo. And step up, so go through the next hole, like that. And pick up 3 11-ohs, a super duo, 3 11-ohs, super duo, 3 11-ohs, super duo, this is your last super duo, and 3 11-ohs. And we'll just take a look and make sure that's what we have. 3 super duos and 4 sets of 11-oh. Coming out of this side here, we're going to go into the other side, create our circle, like that, and go up and around the whole thing again. And it doesn't matter if it's, like you can see, it's kind of wonky here. That'll help me get through everything at once. And then once I tighten it, it will take the shape of the circle again. Down through here. Oops. There. And get your shape. Now we're ready for our next druck. So we're coming out of that side, we're going to go to the opposite side of the opposite super duo. go through the truck. And go to the opposite side, go through your super duo, through the 11 O's and the next super duo. There. It's really coming together. Oh, I'm sure, you know, I want to do a multicolor one that has no rhyme or reason. I think that'll be so cool. So we'll just keep going like this till we get them all on there. There's okay, one more super duo and 3 more 11 O's. Like that. Okay, we're coming out of the bottom. We're going to go through the top. So I have a bunch of videos to do. I've been trying to get back into the gym, into the pool. Our local pools finally got fixed after COVID. They took the opportunity to do some long-awaited repairs, and it took longer than they thought. But so I've been busy in that and doctor's appointments. But I have a bunch of really cool stuff. I did a really interesting tubular herringbone, and I know I did a video on a 2-ladder tubular herringbone, and with a start that doesn't involve brick stitch, and a few people commented that it was confusing, and I went back and I guess first of all, it was probably only my second time doing it, so that could be the reason it wasn't clear. But so I've since studied the initial person, which is Laura McCabe, I think. And I will include the link for her page when I do that video. So she is the one that I got this different start from. So I reviewed her video and then I practiced. I did about 10 starts on different herringbone. So I think I have it down pat. And there's very specific reasons for doing certain things. So I was able to pick those up as well. So I'm pretty sure that once I give you that information, it will be very easy to follow. But if you don't get that part of it, you're just doing steps that you don't understand why you're doing. And then, which is fine, you can still follow, but then when you leave it for a while and you go back to it, you'll be like, what step did I need? Like, you don't remember it as well. But if you know the reason for you doing those steps, then it definitely helps you cement that in your memory because it makes sense, right? So I had thought of doing this type of design around the middle of the ball. I haven't done one yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up doing one because I really like this design. And again, it's a design that ends up being at the top of the ball that you might not see. So I think what this reminds me of, this design, is this reminds me of a bead weaving design for a bracelet. So I think if you have a bracelet that you really like the design, you could easily do it and then wrap it around the middle of the Christmas ball and then add your netting or crystals, or and it would really be amazing. I was kind of paying attention to the weight of the ball because, as you know, the branches of the Christmas tree might not hold a whole lot of weight. And you start adding a lot of beads, glass beads, definitely, like these drucks I find are heavy. Let's go through here. And up through here. The last set of these is going to be different, and I'll show you. But I mention that now because you might take a look at this and go, oh great, I'm going to get all my, I have 8. Let me count to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's 8. The reason I'm counting is because I think last night, I'll give you a quick preview of the gold ones. I'm terrible. I cannot keep a secret. Look at, oh. So I did 12 of these. And what that did is this ends up being lower on the Christmas ball, and then I added these 4mm and then this part here, and this is what it looks like on the Christmas ball. If you can imagine, looks pretty awesome. That's another video. That one I have it almost all done to each step, so I can show you the specific step I took and do a few of them and then move to the next one. Let's just keep going. I cannot believe how fast time has flown. Like, you know, Thanksgiving in the US is coming up, and Christmas is around the corner. Unbelievable. I think for me too, it goes like that because I have doctor's appointments. I have 2 major appointments with specialists in December, and it's coming up quick. So I hope everybody's doing well. We have not had any snow yet, although there's been whispers saying that we might get snow. So here in Nova Scotia, we get a lot of rain, and just above us is New Brunswick. They get snow. They're more inland, so they get snow. So they have had snow, and Quebec on the other side of us has had snow. Ontario, I think, has had snow. And out west. So we may be one of the only, I don't think BC has had any yet, but we may be one of the few provinces that hasn't had snow. I don't know. When I was a kid, I loved it. Even as an adult, when I lived in Ontario, I loved it because we were in a snow belt, so we had fresh snow every day. So I used to go cross-country skiing. You could go to the conservation area or all the golf courses. You were allowed to ski on them. They just had the, oh, what do you call it? Where the area where they have the hole in one, or the hole, that area was blocked off with like snow fences and stuff. But other than that, you know, oh, the farmers would let you go at the edge of the fields, so it was really nice. I would take the dogs. It was so nice. Trained them not to run on the track. I don't know why I put that many on there. So they wouldn't run on the track, because once there's fresh snow and you cross country ski over it, you set tracks. But if somebody walks through it or a dog goes through it, it ruins the tracks. So yeah, they loved it. They were so funny in the snow. I had a corgi, and what he would do, and they have short legs, so they can't jump very high, but he would jump up in the air and then point his nose down and go right down in, like dive bomb into the snow to catch mice. I didn't know what he was doing. It was like amazing that he could even hear that, and that there was a mouse deep in the snow. And then before I had a chance, he swallowed it whole. It's like, oh, gross, that can't be good. Bones and tails and... Yep, that was my corgi. Mickey, called him Mickey Mouse, because he had big ears. So when he was bad, I'd yell, Mickey! When he was a sweetheart, I'd say, how's my little mouse? Yeah. Animals really get to you. My cat's been laying on my lap like crazy these days. And I have terrible allergies. So I know the days that he's been on my lap, I'm like sneezing and rubbing my eyes. And so we're trying to get him used to laying on a blanket next to me on the couch. And man, he is so funny. Like if I put my hand up so that he can't jump on my lap, he just walks away. Instead of, like, my wife tries to get him to sit on her lap. So every once in a while she'll turn to me. She goes, yep, he's your baby. You're his mommy, she says. He knows that you're his mommy. So this last one that we're going to start. Okay, so that's what we have so far. So there's 7 there. So for the 8th one, we're going to step up. And I got tangled there. We are going to create this area here. So the 311 O's, the super duo, the 311 O's, and then we're going to hook on to this one. Okay, so I had to think about that. I need more coffee. So 311 O's and the super duo, and then 311 O's. So that's what you need. Okay, you're going to bring your other one over. Just ignore that stop bead. So you're coming out of here, you're going to go into here, like that. Now you're going to do the same. You're going to pick up 311 O's, a super duo, and 311 O's. That. And you're going to come down through this one. And this is what you have. So it's quite small, you can tell, like this is going at the top. Okay, so now we're going to go through everything one more time. Don't have to worry about it being too tight because you're going to tighten it at the end. This way you can get through everything at once. Well, in 2 steps. Through those guys. And there. Now we're going to pull it tight. There. So it's basically the same as what we had before. So let's, there's a thread that's not, I think I probably like sewed through one of the threads. So let's go through, because we're going to add our druck. So go through the 3 11/0s in this super duo, like that. There. Pick up the last 6 0, go through the opposite side of the opposite super duo, like that. There. Okay. Now go through the druck again. Through. Go through the next super duo and the 3 11/0s in the next super duo. And go through, because we want to come out one of these super duos, so come down here. We could have come out this side, doesn't matter which side you work on, doesn't matter where your stop bead is, because you're going to weave that in to come out to be used again. So whatever preference you have, but you do need to be coming out of a super duo. That, and step down. Okay, so let's take a look. So we will do these at the, once we have some more of this on. So now we're going to do these guys. These guys are super simple. We're just attaching 3 super duos with a seed bead in between each one. The biggest part of that is you're having to go up and down through these beads to get to that super duo. So let's go 1 11/0, 1 super duo, 1 11/0, 1 super duo, 1 11/0, 1 super duo. So you have 3 and 3, like that. Oh, we need a 4th bead. Go through the opposite side and pull that tight, and look at how beautiful that is. So again, you're going to go through this a second time. So let's just change the hand position here to make it easier. Oh, I'll get that in the way. So again, loose, doesn't matter. It's going to tighten as we tighten it. Go through like that. It's weird, there's a, again, this, I wonder if it got tangled on the bead. There. Okay, so now you're going to step up and go through that super duo, and you can go through as many of those 11/0s so you can get to the next one. Let's untangle this here. There. You're going to step up this super duo, that. Now out to that one and add the next one. So through the 11 O's and the super duo. I must have gone through something. I can hear it scraping the thread. Step up. And now we're going to add this little embellishment. So let me get these over here. So an 11-0, a super duo, 11-0, super duo, 11-0, super duo, and one more 11-0. So you need 11-0, super duo, 11-0, super duo, 11-0, super duo, and an 11-0. You're coming out of this side. We're going to go to the opposite side, and that will give us our little star pattern. It's really pretty. Okay, and go through that a second time. Like that. There. Step up on that super duo and up through these 11 O's, through the 11 O, through the super duo, and then step up on this super duo and see if we can get through. Let's do this in 2 steps. Through that super duo, and through these guys. Step up, super duo, 11-0, super duo, 11-0, super duo, 11-0, super duo, 11-0. That. Coming out of this side, going to this side. Just gonna flip that. And go through. Through here. And through here. Step up through the 11 O's. Through the super duo and step up that one. The other idea, design idea I thought of is if you have some snowflake, beaded snowflake designs that you like or that you've designed yourself, you could do that on the crystal ball. Call it a crystal ball. They are definitely plastic. I hadn't even considered doing glass balls. So it's interesting because the way they word things, like most of this stuff is from China, so the way they word it makes it sound extraordinary because it's plastic, and usually people don't like plastic for something like this, but for doing this design, I am so pro plastic because it won't be an heirloom for long if it breaks, and stuff breaks. There. So we are at the hour mark, And you know, I always think, we're going to do the whole thing in one video. And then it's like, oh, this is taking a lot longer than I thought. You know, it's funny, this design is really, it's really amazing, but there's, I think that the longest part is this part here. Because the other stuff goes really quick. But I'm trying to think in my head, is this gonna be way too long a video? And maybe we should do it in 2 steps. I was surprised. So when I saw Stephanie's video release, I get notifications. A lot of Stephanie's videos I have every intention on doing, but I'm busy with doing videos for my channel. So I find like for Stephanie's stuff, it's like it's a treat for me to do her videos, her designs. But it's often a treat I don't allow myself because I always have other projects to do. So I think this one, because I thought it would be a really cool idea to do them as gifts for my nieces, that I was like, oh, let me do the video. So in the meantime, I ordered the Christmas balls on Amazon, and I think it was like, oh, it'll be 2 weeks kind of thing. And so I didn't think anything of it. When I went to start them the other day, I went back to see when she had posted that video because I couldn't find it. So I go to like the top line and there's 3 videos there, and I'm like, I don't see the Christmas ball video. It was down on the second line and like so 6 videos ago, basically. And I'm like, are you telling me it's been a month since she posted this video and I haven't done it yet? So I was thinking I'm gonna send her or post a comment thanking her and stuff. It'll be one of the first comments she gets. I'm like, not after a month. I hope she has more comments than that. I live in my own little world. You guys know that. Oh gosh. Okay, that. Well, it's bound to happen, but that was the first time that's happened. Let's get this guy through. There we go. Okay. We have been watching Dead to Me. I don't know if any of you have watched that show. And I think when the first season came out, so it's on the 3rd season. When the first season came out, I think I may have seen the first episode on a free preview on video on demand. So through your cable network, they often will have free previews. So when I saw it, I mentioned it to my wife. I said, I think you're going to like this. So we've been watching it every year, and they just came out with the new season, so season 3. And spoiler alert, I guess. And I hate spoiler alerts. But one of them gets cancer. And so Jen and I are watching it, and we're talking about, because it's supposed to be a bit of a tongue-in-cheek comedy murder mystery kind of thing. And But they hit on subjects and you realize this is their way of getting you to think about these things and talk about these things and that are serious, right? Of course, cancer is serious. So we were talking about it because I have cancer and my wife is waiting for her results from her colonoscopy from the polyps that they removed. So it was kind of interesting, and it's interesting too because um, the friendship that they have, two women, you know, sharing stuff like raising kids and stuff like that. It reminds me a lot of a gay marriage kind of thing. But so yeah, it was really interesting. So we're talking about cancer, and I'm still recovering from the radiation. Again, they didn't tell me that this process would take this long. So I should have figured it out because they don't do your follow-up mammogram for about 8 months, 8 months to a year, because apparently the mammogram itself is unreadable. It's very blurry and stuff. And there's so many cycles of death and healing of the cells, so they wouldn't be able to tell which is which, I'm guessing, till it's all, they know for sure it's complete. So I've been getting a lot of, it's weird, I have like a radiation tan, and it was really dark, like it looked like somebody painted my breast brown. And it was like really dark and chalky and funny looking. And then that all peeled and then it started to fade. So this is the last one here. So it started to fade, but just in the last 2 weeks, I've had swelling and pain, and then the tan came back. So I was like, okay, I'm guessing that's more of the tan, the cycle of the cells. So let's take a look. So we've got these guys here. So I think what we'll do is we'll gather them at the top so that we can place it on a ball, and then it's going to go to this part here. I think we should do that in the second video because this is taking a long time. So we're going to want our thread to this section here, and you can see I don't have a lot of thread left, but I think we will try to get this as our next thread, and if we have to, so that's done twice. Okay, so let's step up here and let's go to the top. There. Through here. I think I better cut this off here. Let me tie this off. So I'm going to create a knot. I'm going to bring my needle against that thread, under the thread, and I'm going to take my current thread and I'm going to make sure that I pull it tight and down and then go a second time. So these are half hitch knots. I like to do 2. You don't have to do 2. It will kind of clog a hole in the bead, so you might want to try 1 and then do a second one somewhere else. So there, I've pulled it tight. There's the knot. Now I'm going to go through here, and I'm just going to kind of thread my tail in there and cut it. So pull it tight. There, you can't see the knot anymore. come out here and we'll tie this off. And we're going to use this. So now we have our thread. So let me just untwist like that and untwist here. And just be careful undoing this one. Sometimes it gets a little tangled. You can see it's kind of jumbled. And be careful, sometimes you get knots in there. Okay, so let's grab, pull it through my fingers so that it gets nice and straight. And get to here. And I'm just gonna bring it through my nail so that I can pass it through. This is a size 12 needle. I don't know if I told you that, but the size 12 needle, I was using a 10 and I kept getting stuck in places. So rather than have to use my pliers to pull my needle through, I thought it might be a good idea to use a smaller needle. Okay, so now we want our stop bead out of there. And I could actually just go through. There, and that should come off. And you can use whatever size stop bead. I found that the bigger stop beads got in the way, so that's why I had such a tiny stop bead. Okay, so like I said, these are little dangly pieces. They're going to go at the bottom. Now, as you can see, this looks very rounded, tubular, and you're thinking it's never going to fit. But look at that. Isn't it beautiful? You could actually, you know what? I just thought of something. This could be your middle of your Christmas ball. I was going to say crystal ball. Christmas ball. And you could actually embezzle. I think I need a break. You could actually bezel something there. Let me get the crystals out. Just for an idea here. These are crystals that I got from Cass from the UK. Okay, so here's, oh wow, that would look amazing. That would look awesome. So this is so big, you probably would only do 2 of those, one on one side and one on another. Let me get my crystal ball. In my crystal ball. So something like that. Oh, that's gonna look amazing. Okay, so I will do one of those too. You know, it's funny, I've been wanting to do just the straight up design like this, and I'm so excited that I keep like redesigning the design. Okay, so the point I was making is this will go on the top of your ball nicely. So now we're going to add the 11 O's. These guys. Now, I think for her design, she had to add some seed beads in there, but I think these are going to fit. So let's grab, cut this. Here. Move these guys out of the way. I better move that. I'm pretty sure that's going to fall over. Okay. So let's bring, so our thread's right here. We want to bring it up to one of these. Let's go up through the Super Duo and the 3 11 O's. we're going to go through this super duo, and then we're going to step up from that one. I can't believe the thread got caught on that ball. Okay. So now we have to, we're in the bottom hole, we want to step up to the top hole. That. Okay. Pick up a 4mm, go through the next super duo. 4mm through the next super duo. 4mm through the next super duo. 4 super duo. So I'm using this kind of fast technique, but if you're using that, be careful. It does get tangled almost every time. So I highly do not recommend it. I'm just, I'm very mindful. This is a long video, so I appreciate you guys hanging out with me and watching the videos and commenting. I really love the comments, by the way. So, hint, hint. I'm kind of lonely. I am still isolating because I'm still waiting for surgery, and that's one of the appointments I have in December. So I'm still having to isolate. I'm able to go to the pool on like when it's quiet and there's not a lot of people in the locker room, but so this is the last one. So now I'm going to go through everything again. So let me just go through a few, and we will pull that like that. Oh my god, that looks amazing. These colors are crazy. Crazy, crazy. And that is what? So go through it again, and you can create a knot and then bring your thread down. Sometimes I do that if it's something that requires tension. But and then we'll come back and we'll do the rest of the ball. This is gonna look amazing. Sweet. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.